to all those that struggle, to my wife, to my baby girl, Justice Hope, and to my unborn daughter, Jackson Sage. Can't wait to see you, sweetie. To all those that struggle, we send this out. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has us, facing the rising sun. A new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Hello, Lumen Scholars and Lumen staff. I am so excited to be with you today. Listen, this is our first week of Black History Month, but we all know that Black history is American history, and we celebrate Black history 365 days. I loved that song. I'm so energized by listening to the National Black Anthem, which was written by James Weldon Johnson in 1917. His brother actually wrote the music for the song and lyrics that he had. And when we just think about all the amazing contributions that African Americans have made to America, it's just really exciting to talk about. As you can see, the theme for 2023 is resistance through Black excellence. So I challenge you to get to know more about African American history. It's such a rich history. You can learn about the music, you can learn about the arts, and just the science and technology. I'm so excited for our guest today. He is truly making a difference in history. He is actually in the great state of where my little sister is in Tennessee. I'm hoping the weather is way better than the weather we're having right here. 2 degrees outside in a -11 wind chill. Lord Jesus, let the Groundhog Day be wrong. But he is in Tennessee right now. He is from the great state of Chicago, which is right around the corner from us. But he is an accomplishment. He builds buildings. Oh my goodness. He's right now. It was so awesome to talk to him pre-show. He's not only intelligent, but he's very creative and talented. So the nerd in me is super excited just to hear how he came to be Mr. Jimmie Jones. So Mr. Jimmie Jones, you can turn your camera on, and welcome to Lemons to Lemonade.
Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Not sure if everybody can hear me. Can you hear me? Everything's good? All
right. They can hear you. They can hear you out there in Lumen land. But what's exciting right now, right now you are in one of your but before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to take you back to your middle school time. And I want you to tell me where you grew up and where you went to school.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Definitely a pleasure to be on the show, and something as great as showing all of the excellent things that all of people who look like us are doing out in the world during Black History Month is really I feel very proud, because going back to the history of Black History Month, when it started as Negro Achievement Week, Carter G. Woodson gave his speech on The Man Far Down, and basically highlighting all of the accomplishments that people who look like us are doing back in the 1940s and even before then. So it is such an honor that that y'all keeping it alive, and that I can even, that there's a platform for me to just express, all of the hard work that I've been doing and where I'm at now. So thank you, definitely thank you.
No, we're
Um,
grateful to have you be on. I mean, you're really busy right now. I'm super excited to get to where you're actually standing. But as I was sharing, just where did you go to school?
Yeah, all right. So I'm from Chicago, Illinois, born and raised. I went to school. I started off at a private school in Chicago before I transferred to public school. And the private school was the down on kind of the east side of Chicago. It was called the University of Islam. It was a private school that accepted me at 4 years old into kindergarten. Yeah, so back, and I'm sure they still have it now. If your birthday's past a certain date, they want you to wait a year, but my mom didn't want that, so she got me enrolled in private school. But that was really a blessing in disguise, because at 4 years old, they pushed engineers, doctors, scientists, and a lot of these high level careers onto 4 and 5 and 6 year olds, maybe even before they understood what it was. So from literally from age of 5 years old, my whole life, I've been wanting to be an engineer before I even knew what it was.
So that's really interesting that you said at 5 years old. So at 5, what interested you about becoming an engineer?
Just the fact that the world is ran by engineering. At 5 years old, it all started with building blocks and Legos, and me being able to put things together. My favorite part was taking things apart and trying to figure out how they go together. A lot of the times I never made it to putting things right back together. Like I would have my door hanging off my bedroom wall for a while. But nonetheless, I learned how it came off, how weights and forces were working. That was more into like my 10 and 12 year old age. But at 5, I definitely was putting blocks together outside, playing with rocks and all of the free toys outside, So I fell down a lot, and I learned about gravity and how things hurt, and that plays a part now into me keeping everybody safe on a job site. So
When you were in middle school, so it sounds to me like you love building, you love science, because, or not even just science, but chemistry and all of those sorts of things. When you were in middle school, what was your favorite subject? And I can almost guess, but why?
so my favorite subject of all was math.
Mhm.
I love math. And that math even transitioned to me loving science, because as I got older, I realized that math and science are brother and sister. They go hand in hand, and you really can't have one without the other. Um, math is everything from money to managing your money to knowing what you have to do today. You can really convert anything into math. And seeing that and how science changes the world. There's literally nothing that isn't science. Just something simple as this broom that's in my hand is a form of science, because it had to be designed. And the beautiful thing about science is, once you figure out a formula, or once you figure out how to do something one time, math doesn't change. So you can use multiples, and I can create 1,000 brooms with one design, one mathematical design to make. Once I figure out how it works, okay, I can just multiply it and keep it going.
Oh my goodness. So what I love is your brilliance. So you're talking about stuff that I never saw math or science with the broom. Who gave you that confidence in that it's okay to be smart?
Oh my God. My fifth grade male math teacher. So the private school that I went to, it was separated from boys and girls. The girls went to school in the afternoon. All of the boys started school in the morning, and we went from 7 o'clock to about 12, and it was all boys, all male teachers, And not only did they help us to develop as young men and eventually young adults, but they helped us in a way that we needed for father figures. I grew up in a single parent household where my mom was the breadwinner and well, really she was the only parent in the house, and she was raising my sister and I. So I knew that, that there has to be something that I can do to help. I was always emotionally tied to her. So I figured, since she's putting me in school to better myself, let me see if I can return the favor when I get older.
Oh, wow. That is just so exciting. So I just think, especially during this month, I really thank your teacher for instilling that confidence in you to be smart and to go towards your dreams. Can you tell me, so right now, I can't wait any longer. Can you talk about where you are? Oh, before we get to that, what is your title? What do you do?
Okay. All right. Kind of before I get into my title, back to my math teacher back in fifth grade, and he was actually my third and fifth grade teacher, brother Carl. And I couldn't find it before this meeting today, but I have my class picture, and it has our whole male class standing in about 3 rows. The first row sitting down, the second row is standing up behind them, and the third row is standing up on chairs. I'm in the second row, standing next to my teacher, and behind me is a poster that says, "We build engineers." So,
Mm.
so I actually have in a photo of me in fifth grade. I believe it was either my third or fifth grade class picture, because it was the same teacher. But it says, "Yeah, we build engineers," and I have that locked in time. So even as a child, that's one thing that makes me smile. But to your question, my title right now is a superintendent, and my scope of work is I build high rises, and my so
Okay.
I build high rises. I've completed quite a few projects. Emory Hospital. I built
Oh,
a
stop a
10-story.
second. Listen, Lumen, if you don't Emory Hospital in that, are you kidding me? No, that's in Atlanta.
Anna, yeah, that was yeah, Emory. Yeah, we built that a whole new separate 10-story hospital. And if anybody knows about Emory Hospital, it's one of the most prominent hospitals in the world. The very first COVID patient to come into the United States went to Emory Hospital, and 3 months after complete, no, 1 month after completing that hospital, we had they moved into the hospital, and it was literally supporting lives. So that was my role before I got promoted or switched roles to a superintendent. I started off as an engineer coming out of school. So I've been in the superintendent role about 2 years. I was an engineer for about 5 years. And I started off here in Nashville interning. I built a mid kind of high rise office building. I've worked on the Batman building. For anybody that's been in Nashville, Batman building is like the iconic building. Uh, and let me see if I can. I'm I'm outside. Let me see if I can zoom in. Y'all see those Batman ears?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's about maybe a mile and a half away, but that's like the most prominent building in Nashville, and I renovated the interior and exterior. Excuse me. Um, so that was an awesome time. Then we built when I came back to Nashville, I built a 26-story high rise. Which, before I show you where I'm at now, I'm gonna step outside, and since it's on the same block, turn this around. This is the building that I finished already. So this is a 26-story high-rise apartment building. and it was finished 3 years ago. And yeah, that's what we do.
Oh
And
my,
currently, this is where I work now, where we're on level 5, and it'll eventually be taller than that building, but look similar. Um, Level 5 going all the way up to 30 stories, all the way up.
wow.
So, um, and oh, before we go in, yeah, part of this building, I'm not sure if you're familiar with iHeartRadio.
Yes, we have one. Yes, out of Milwaukee. We have one in Milwaukee.
Yeah, so I built their headquarters as well, and they're stationed in the same high rise that we built. So,
Unreal. You're
so
just
kind
you're just blowing my mind. So hold on a second. So
of, okay,
you are an engineer by trade. So superintendent means you run stuff. You're the boss.
yeah. So as a superintendent, I have to work with the material, the schedule, the people, and ensure that they're safe. So not only do we have to make sure that we have the right material, but I have to make sure it's going in right. I have to make sure the timing of the people are coordinated with the other people who may be working beside them, where it's not just one trade working and they don't work together. So they need Turner or another general contractor to lay out what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and basically the 5 W's and an H. So yeah, just so people, because without us, somebody will just show up to work and do it wrong and walk away. So we're here for quality control, and no different than you getting a new toy out the box that you got to put together, and you feel proud that you put it together, even though it took an hour. Or if you get a furniture delivered to your house and it takes an hour to do it, and you're proud when you sit on that chair. That's how we are when we finish the building.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So as you are just talking through what you do, we have some amazing scholars in Lumen. What skills do you think they need to hone in on right now so one day they can take your job?
Oh my God. If they do one thing and do it really well, I would highly suggest that they put a hyper focus on problem solving.
Okay.
What I do every day is almost like a firefighter, where when I go to work, I'm not going straight into a fire, but I'm almost waiting on a fire to arise before I can put it out. And the more that we can master the skill of problem solving and working together with others, because you won't know everything, I won't know everything, but I guarantee you I know who to ask whenever it's time to figure a problem out. And that is 90% of my job, and really everybody's job. Our job is to solve problems. So whenever you get prepared to go into the work environment, anybody that has a great attitude and you're giving great quality work, you're giving that quantity amount of work, whereas you're consistently doing great things and you have a great mental attitude, there's nothing but success in your future.
I think that's wonderful and awesome. So I'm ready now. I'm ready for Lumen to see what it is, where you're at. Can you explain where you're at and what you're showing us?
All right. So before I show you, let me flip the camera one more time. I'm going to, I have my hard hat and vest. So, but this is what we're building. This is the outside, the 30-story building that we're only on level 5 on. This is what we're going to be building. So, I'm responsible. I'm the superintendent for the exterior skin. So everything you see on the outside is my responsibility. Every piece of glass, every balcony, every metal panel, every piece of precast, the pool that's going to be on the roof. Everything is my responsibility to coordinate and make sure it gets installed. What I'm going to show is it doesn't fall in under my scope of work, but it's a part of my project nonetheless, and that's the interior build out of the project. So what we're looking at is a mock-up unit, and a mock-up unit is basically a sample apartment for the owners of the building. Before we build 306 of these, they want to see and select all of the color and finishes of everything that they want. So they will give us different options. They want us to put it all together. That's why it looks like two different kitchens in one kitchen. And they want to be able to select the different colors. Now, what we have here is this lighter brown floor with the white cabinets is going to be in certain units. And then we'll have a darker brown floor with different countertops and backsplashes in other units. Everything is top of the line. These are high-end apartments. So just to put it in perspective, and before I go too deep, the apartment that we finished, if I go back outside and show you this apartment right here on the corner, how much do you think that they're paying in rent every month?
Well, it's downtown Nashville. I
Downtown
know what my sister plays where she lives further out. So I would say between $2,500, $2,000 to $2,500.
Try $18,000 a month.
Whoa. And they're not owning them. That's just their rent.
That's just the rent. The building that we're building, this apartment, this high-rise building, and all 300 of these units is going to cost $117 million to build this whole building.
Wow. $18,000 a month just for rent?
Yes, just for rent. And
Can
this
you
is
share how much square footage one apartment has?
Yeah, so it's about 3,000 for the largest one, but the average is about 1,200.
Oh,
Yeah, it's about 1,200 square feet.
that's
And
not a
yeah, that's really not a
for
lot.
$18,000.
Yeah, you can't really do anything. So this is just an example. This is a blueprint that's showing a layout of the apartments. And what we do is all of our contractors use this. And this tells them where they put the floors and put the hallway. So you see kind of like this little funky little angle that's coming out of this kitchen area.
Mm-hmm.
And you see like a balcony door right there, or balcony. That's this balcony door right there.
Wow.
That's this kitchen.
How
That's
far
this.
away is this space from Tennessee State?
This is about 10 minutes. We're actually downtown, and my school, Tennessee State, is right up the street.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I was interning, I worked downtown as well, and I would go to class till about 2 p.m. and then I would come and start my internship. And it was similar to this. We would build and inspect. And if there was anything wrong that we found, we would get the subcontractors to fix it. So for example, walking past, people would say how nice this is, but when I walk, I see little details like this little small edge being wrong, this not being complete to the corner. This is something that if we're charging $18,000 a month for rent, it has to be perfect. So when we walking through, that's why we see all of these sticky notes. The sticky notes show things that we need to fix and improve. And it's easy as somebody to walk and say how nice this is, but it really takes a superintendent or an engineer to find all of the mistakes. And these are the problems that we have to solve. Because once you get comfortable in your apartment, and this is a bedroom, and if you're sitting on the bedroom and sitting on your bed, eventually you're gonna look around and you're gonna see little small defects. Well, my goal is for there never to be a defect ever. So, and that takes adjustments. So this is a glass shower that we installed. The water isn't running, but they wanted to see how everything goes together.
Wow.
And even to a point with changing the grout color in between the tile, that's how detailed and specific we may get. But yes, this is just a sample apartment unit that we're building.
Listen, this is amazing. And literally, I could talk to you all day because we're not going to honestly get to every question because I'm super excited that you gave us an opportunity to actually see what you do in your world. But I
Yeah.
do want to make sure that I get to the question about this week. I was at Pilgrim yesterday, Pilgrim Lutheran School. So shout out to Pilgrim. And I purchased, listen, Target. I can't go in Target during Black History Month. They have everything. And so I bought a coloring book that talked about HBCUs. Not only did you go to an HBCU, you're our first Omega Psi Phi Incorporated that we've had on the show. Can you talk a little bit about why you went to an HBCU and why you decided to pledge a fraternity?
Okay, so just to start off, so yes, I graduated from Tennessee State University. I also had a dual degree, so I also have a math degree from Lane College, which is also an HBCU in Jackson, Tennessee. It's a little smaller than Tennessee State University, but nonetheless, I had to do my time there as well. But I definitely chose engineering based on what was brought to me as a child. And at a school like Tennessee State University and being around people that look like me and growing up in Chicago and also private schools. And ever since I was 4 years old, being in an environment, a learning environment where I can lean on support from those around me. And I know that they've been through similar struggles and they may be going through similar things that I have going on at home. And we may be from the same neighborhood. That helps us to learn together because now we can work together in a different light. We're elevating our mind rather than going outside and just playing basketball together. But all of that, being able to do all of those things with the same group of people just makes it feel even sweeter. I got accepted to quite a few predominantly white institutions, but I chose Tennessee State University and Lane College, and it was the best decision of my life. Choosing Omega Psi Phi was one of the greatest decisions of my life because I found another group of young men. Not some weren't engineering majors, but maybe about 5 of them were out of the 20 that joined when I did. But there were people from all over the country. They were Black men from all over the country, young Black men. There were Black men with all type of backgrounds. A lot of single parents, a lot of single only had single mothers, a lot only had single fathers. Some grew up in foster homes. We all had some type of struggle that we were just able to openly and relate to, which helped to support each and every one of us. So it was almost like a one band, one sound type of mentality when you go to a HBCU, because we all support each other and we don't want any of us to fail.
Oh my goodness. So like I said, time is getting away from me. We have a lot of amazing young men. I call them my young kings out there, just coming from different backgrounds. What words of wisdom would you give them as they're taking their journey to walk in purpose?
Oh man, don't give up. It's going to be hard, and just look at any struggle as an opportunity to change it. If there's somebody that's testing your attitude, don't flip out, because that's an opportunity for you to work with people that are difficult to work with, and that's what I work with every day. Um, if there's an opportunity for you to solve a problem and maybe no one is looking, that's an opportunity for you to master your integrity, because it's nothing like being the man when nobody's looking, and that's
Mm.
really counts. This is nice to be recognized as a superintendent um, around people who may not know all of the specifics of what I do, but all of the hard work that I do in the background really is what put me in the position that I am now. All of the work that people didn't see me doing is really supporting me, and it helps me to a point where any random person can walk up to me and ask me anything that I'm not prepared for about this project, and I'll be able to answer it. And that's because I'm studying the blueprints. I'm working with my coworkers and helping them whenever they need help. And it may, like I said, this interior build out has nothing to do with me, but I understand everything that's going on because it's one project.
Wow. Listen, my last question I have for you, because
Yeah.
there's so much depth to you, we just can't get to it in 30 minutes. But you are making Black history. You're a living, breathing example. You are really the manifestation of Dr. King's dream. And my question to close out the show that I ask everyone is, when God sees fit to call you home, what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Ooh, that's a deep question. Because it's almost like you working for the next generation and you're paying it forward. So if anything, I'm literally living that dream right now. If I can reach one young man and motivate and influence him to open his eyes to the world around him, where, yeah, he may be driving or walking past a house or a building every day. Well, there's things behind those walls, even in the walls around you. There's things to learn. If I can motivate the next generation behind me to not give up and to look at every situation as a learning situation or an opportunity to grow, hey, I'm good. I can live with that. I can leave that and be proud, because I don't need my Jimmie Jones name to carry on. I need those people that look like me to motivate those that look like them when I'm gone, and it's just another place for them to take. Yeah, it's really not me. I'm just filling shoes that were filled before me. Hopefully, there's some young man that looks like me that can come fill these shoes when I'm gone.
Amen.
Preferably before I'm gone. That way, I can pass some knowledge that I have to them.
Listen, God is so good. I thank God for you. I thank God for what he's doing. I thank God for the rooms that your name is being mentioned in that you have no idea about. Listen, there's so much more that you're going to do to transform. You're going to be doing stuff internationally. So I'm super excited to see where God takes you to. Listen today. Listen, this has been an amazing show today. I'm so grateful that we've been able to meet Jimmie Jones. And I would like to close out with one of my favorite poets. She said, "Out of the huts of history's shame we rise. Out of a past rooted in pain we rise. We are the Black oceans leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, we bear the tide, leaving behind the gifts that our ancestors gave. We are the dream and the hope of the slave. We rise, we rise, we rise." And remember, if you take a little bit of sugar and some water, God will add the increase and make amazing lemonade. See you all next week. Can't wait to hear more about Black history happening in the schools and to see what you're doing. Bye. Thank you, Jimmie.
Bye. Pleasure.
Bye.